Ask and you shall receive. It's V here. If you're new, actually I guess you're all new. This is me launching my YouTube channel. But hi, I'm V. I'm a fantasy and romance writer working on my debut novel 7. This is her. She's this big chunky monkey thing. But basically today I'm going to be breaking down 5 mindset shifts that help me finish this big old girl. This one. In 2 months. For clarity, my first draft of 7 is 176,565 words. One of those words was written in 1 month. Obviously the rest is written in the other month. As a writer, it is so easy to forget that your mindset and like your mental space is sacred, and you should always be focused on protecting your peace and filling it with positivity and things that are going to be fruitful and help you write your book. These are 5, just 5. I have several others, but 5 of the mindsets, like mantras even, that I say to myself on a daily basis that helped me move out of being the side character in my life and into the main character of my life who's able to accomplish my dreams, my hopes, and my goals. Ironically, that brings us to like the first mindset shift. So the biggest thing that really helped me and put me on this journey towards my own happiness and like leaning into my value was telling myself that I am the main character. There's this quote from this movie, I can't even remember it, but Tom Hanks is in it, and basically in the movie he says, "Look at me, I'm the captain now." And I always thought that quote was like so crazy, so chilling. Tom Hanks doesn't even say it. It's the guy who's the pirate in the movie. He says it. And so for me, I say, look at me. I'm the main character now. And what that means for me is that I am no longer playing small. I am not a side character in my own life. Main characters, the entire story is about them. Their dreams are never too big. Their goals are never too big. They go after them regardless of how scary they are. When I started telling myself this, I got the courage to start dreaming big. Like, okay, yeah, I totally could write a whole book. I could write that book, I could get it published, I could have a movie, you know, based on that book. Like, I could have all of these things. I'm deserving of all of these things. I'm the main freaking character. I'm going for things that I want. And that was a really big thing for me. A mindset shift of that exact same thing is once you realize that you are the main character of your story, you also learn that your greatest enemy and your greatest ally are you. They are one and the same. So this is important because now you have to examine, like, am I standing in my own way? Am I doing things that are productive towards me accomplishing my goals and my dreams? Or am I talking to myself negatively? Am I self-sabotaging? Am I not committing to the process when I know that I'm capable of doing this? And the second mindset shift that really helped me was realizing that the only way you fail is if you quit. I applied this mindset in my photography business. In 2020, I decided that just out of the blue, I was gonna be a photographer. There's a long story to it, but I don't want this YouTube video to be huge long. Like, I know it's a long form platform, but I'm not trying to take up all your day. But basically, in 2020, I decided I wanted to be a photographer, and it was for like shits and giggles, basically. I was like, I'll be a fashion photographer, it'll be fine. I did not think it was gonna be a career. But lo and behold, as I was doing these shoots just for funsies, I realized, okay, I kind of really like this. I want to do this. And it was hard as mess. I did it for 3 years. And when I first started out, I was making no money. And then my first gigs were only $25 an hour, which if you're a photographer, if you know anything about photography, that is absolutely no money. But I realized in the pursuit of that the only way I could possibly fail at being a photographer, the only way I would fail at my dreams or come short of my dreams is if I decided to quit. If you are persistent, if you keep going, it has to give out, it has to give up, it has to give into you. The universe will recognize your effort, it'll recognize your it'll recognize your worth too. But it'll recognize your work and it'll work out for you. The only way you fail is if you quit. That is a certifiable way to be a failure, quitting. But if you keep working at it, you're gonna keep learning. You're gonna keep figuring out what works, what doesn't work. Okay, this wasn't the right path, let's go this way. Okay, this person doesn't know, let's go that way. You're going to figure things out, and the more you figure out, the more you narrow down the paths towards success and towards your dreams and goals. It took me 3 years, but I landed a contract for $5,000 as a fashion photographer. That was my dream, that was the goal, right? But it took 3 years. It didn't matter though, the timeline did not matter to me. For me, I was like, I'm only gonna fail if I quit, so I'm just gonna keep moving, I'm just gonna keep pushing. And this was an industry that did not want to tell me anything about anything. It is a very gate-kept industry on how to be successful as a fashion photographer. And that's fine, that's okay. They can say the book world is kind of the same way. I do believe that we have a very beautiful community of people, but it can be the same way. People are very close kept about the editing process, about getting published, about how you get to a traditional publisher. So many people think that you can just reach out to a traditional publisher and get published, but you actually have to go through a literary agent. The amount of people that I've had conversations with about this that didn't know that is crazy. And it's not for a lack of looking for the information, it's for the fact that people are gatekeeping. So even if you're coming up on struggles, even if you're coming up on roadblocks, writer's block, all these different things, just remember you're only going to fail if you quit. So don't quit. The third mindset shift that really helped me is that I realized everything is happening for me, not to me, even if it doesn't make sense in the moment. Now, this was an easier mindset for me to take on because I've had a lot of things in my life happen that I just did not understand at the time. I was like, God, this sucks. Why does it feel like I am the victim in this situation? But as time went on and other things in my life started to come together, I realized like, oh damn, I would not have this. Like, for example, I would not have the husband I have who I love. He's my absolute freaking best friend. If we had not dated once before, broken up, and then got back together. If I had been sticking in the dare, like broken up part of our relationship where I was just like, oh damn, we broke up. Okay, obviously it's not meant to be. Why did this happen to me? At that point, of course it didn't make sense. Of course it didn't seem like it was going to be like, oh, you're going to marry him and you're going to have 2 kids. But in the end, it was working for me, not against me. Same, at one point I was told I would never be able to have children. I have two beautiful, brilliant, amazing girls. I love them to death. And they, my husband, my children, and so many other things in my life are proof of what I am capable of how strong I am. So a lot of times things will happen in your life, especially when you're writing your book, to be like, dang, why does this not make sense? Why do I need to rewrite the whole book? Why does the plot have this hole? Why? You'll come up on things and you'll be like, oh my God. And don't take it as a sign that you're not supposed to write the book. Don't take it as a sign that it's not gonna work. Take it as, okay, this is working for me. I don't know how yet, but it's working for me. And start to look at like, what can I learn from this? What can I take from this? And I promise you, you'll be so much happier and you'll start to see the things come together. This one is kind of a mindset shift and more of a mantra though, but me and my husband constantly say to each other, it's good for the plot. So if in my writing of 7, honestly, when I said that I wrote it in 2 months, it doesn't feel like I wrote it in 2 months. It honestly felt like it happened in a vacuum and I spent a year working on this thing, and it was literally 2 months. But it's because every other day I was coming up on a setback. I was like, oh my God, I'm gonna throw this book away. It's so difficult. Why is it not easy? And that's because if it was easy, it wouldn't be good for the plot. And I look at this from the perspective that like once you're done with your book and you're on your book tours and you're doing these talk shows, they're gonna ask you, okay, like tell me the story about how you wrote this book. Tell me the story about how it came to be. And you're gonna have this amazing, like vivid story to tell people. It's gonna be so inspiring to others because it was not easy, because it was a struggle. Like, can you imagine if you were like, I just sat down and I wrote the book, boom, bam, done. That is the most boring talk show interview ever, and nobody is inviting you back. But no, if you sit down and you're like, look, I had to work 2 jobs and write this book. I was a stay-at-home mom with 2 kids and I had to write this book. I didn't have money for my rent and I had to write this book. Like, it's good for the plot. It doesn't erase the problems, but remembering that it's good for the plot can often make it feel a lot lighter and a lot easier. Lastly, and most importantly, someone is waiting for you. When you realize that in your hands, in your mind, coming from your fingertips, is a story that is going to be not only somebody's favorite, because I know we often talk about how your book is going to be somebody's favorite book. It's going to be on their bookshelf. They're going to annotate it. They're going to highlight it. We don't talk about how your story is going to change people's lives. I don't even have to say a specific title right now to know that there's a book in your mind right now at this very moment that you're thinking of, that you read and it changed your life. Your book is going to be that for someone. There are people waiting on you to finish this book, waiting on you to push through and publish. They're waiting on you so they can read this book and their lives can be changed astronomically. There will be girls who won't write their book until they see yours. They won't even be thinking about it. They won't even know that they're capable of it until they see what you have done. There will be people who will be living small, people who will be dreaming of doing these things and be like, oh, but that can never happen to me. And then they'll hear your story, not just your book, but hear your story. And they'll be like, oh, wow, she did it, so I can do it. He did it, so I can do it. There's somebody waiting on you. And sometimes that person is you. For me, I'm writing this book for all of the Black girls out there who want to be seen and want representation, but I'm also writing it for the younger version of me who really needed this book growing up. I'm also writing it for the future version of me who really needs this book to live the dreams that she wants to live. Somebody is waiting on you, even if it's just you. It is important, it is important, it is important that you write this book. This book is important. It is life-changing. So when you take all of these mindsets together and you mantra them to yourself on a daily basis, you will start to find that your brain is a positive place, perfectly prepared to nurture your book, to push through your writer's block, to push through, okay, what happens next in this scene? I don't know. To push through like, okay, it doesn't feel like a book right now. Okay, but it will. It will feel like a book. You will start to trust yourself. And I guess lastly, the bonus one, there's so many, but this one is important too. Everything you need to succeed is inside of you already. If this book is on your mind and in your heart and will not give you peace, trust me when I say that everything you need to write it is already inside of you. I'm getting emotional. Everything you need is inside of you. It's already there. It would not be in your mind or on your heart if it was not destined for you to do, if it was not meant for you. It is there on purpose, not an accident. And that's it. I'm gonna get off my soapbox, guys, but I really hope that these mindset shifts, these perspective shifts are beneficial and valuable to you. And I hope to see you guys around on my channel more often. I will tag all the other places where I'm being weird and quirky so you can follow me there. But anyway, thanks. Please like, save, share, and subscribe. Bye.